Hi, this is Scott Garibay, and today we're going to talk about Dungeons & Dragons 5th Edition, and we're going to talk about the new Magic the Gathering Adventures in Faerun, Adventures in Forgotten Realms Magic the Gathering set, and how and what was the pre-release like. This is a report from the field telling you how the meld is going. How are things going for Dungeons & Dragons and for Magic the Gathering as these two worlds have smashed into each other? Right now, is this a car crash where there's parts of the cars are flying in every direction and now both cars are non-functional, or is this a Reese's smash? Is this chocolate and peanut butter that everybody loves going forward forever? Right. First of all, I'm not going to bury the lead. I think this is chocolate and peanut butter, but there are some there's some bad news points, and I'll give them to you. All right. So first of all, I have been so hyped for this. This is two things I love. I started, playing Magic the Gathering in 1993 when it began. I've literally played it from the beginning. I love Magic the Gathering. I've had an off and on relationship with it over the decades. But overall, I'm a big fan of the game. Dungeons and Dragons, of course, it's my number one hobby, right? So when they said they were going to put these together, I was incredibly excited. So what was the reality of the pre-release? Well, I'm going to tell you right now. So I live about 20 miles south of Philadelphia, and in my area, there were no less than a dozen stores where I was able to play in pre-releases on the weekends. I will tell you right now, all the pre-releases, based on where we are in the pandemic, pretty much almost all the pre-releases in my area were the same pattern. You could, if you're vaccinated, show up, no mask, play like it's 2019, right? Of course, just be careful. But you didn't have to, mask up and breathe through a filter or mask. I'll tell you right now, we're at a point where if you want me to come to some event and you say I need to wear a mask, I'll just stay home. I'm absolutely not going to show up at your event and say, oh, I get to wear not to wear a mask. I'm going to respect your request, but I ain't coming, right? I'll just stay home where I can be maskless. I'm not coming to an event where I need to wear a mask, right? And especially now that I'm vaccinated, right? So this was great. It really was like 2019. It was really wonderful. And I will say, I would say probably a quarter of the people were masked. So, they have that option. And I think a lot of places are still if you ain't vaxxed, maybe you should mask up, right? So that was the facts on the ground from a comfort perspective, okay? So all that's going on. And who showed up, right? So I roll in on Friday night, playing in the pre-release on Friday night. We bought 5 tickets for the weekend. I bought 1 ticket for myself at 7 p.m. on Friday night for an event, and that was, you get in, you get 6 packs, you play, you get a pity pack if you go 0-3. If you go 2-1, you get additional packs. If you go 3-0, you get additional packs. And there were very special door prizes that I'll talk about in a minute, right? So, first of all, if you don't play Magic, I'll tell you right now, there's no better way to get cards than the pre-releases. They make the pre-releases the best possible way to get cards ever. It's not even close. You go in, you get 6 packs for a very good price. It's usually $30, right? But then, in addition to that, you get special cards in those packs that you can't get anywhere else. And sometimes you can draw just one of those special cards that can pay for your entire event, and all your cards are free, right? So, if you sell Magic the Gathering cards, you can make out like a bandit on pre-release. They're just, and also you're right there, and you could trade for stuff day one for things that are valued at $3 that are going to 10x, right, and be worth $30 a week later, right? So pre-releases are fantastic. So I show up with this pre-release. It's the only pre-release going, and it was 15 players, right? So, and that's all. It was Friday night. The place should have been packed, but there was just one group with 15 players. I came in on Saturday. We played in a 2 o'clock round, and I bought four event tickets. One for me, one for my daughter, one for her boyfriend, and one for my son. So we played and got tons of great, so I played 2 pre-releases. There were only 10 people in that. So I'll tell you right now, the Magic the Gathering crowd is not is not excited about it. And I can tell you right now, I talked to multiple Magic the Gathering players. Magic the Gathering players do not give two craps about Adventures in Forgotten Realms. They do not care. They do not care. They do not care. Okay? Now, I have to say, I have a lot of sympathy for them, because when they brought Ravnica into my world, when they brought Theros into my world, I did not care. Right? I did not want their junky Magic the Gathering backgrounds as taking up slots for setting books for Dungeons and Dragons. They did not dislike Forgotten Realms because they don't like Forgotten Realms. You know why the Magic the Gathering players do not care about Adventures in Forgotten Realms? Because the set does not have killer cards. They want cards that are going to help them crush their opponent, and there are no cards in this game that are going to help them crush their opponent. There's good cards in here, but there aren't great cards, and there aren't game-breaking cards in this game, in this set. And that's what they want. They want great or game-breaking, right? They want juice. And they want juice for the game, at the table, with the mechanics. Magic the Gathering players do not care one iota about the setting. For them, it is the mechanics. It's just the way it is. So I was very sad to see this, and I want to give you an idea. This worked out great for me. So Friday night, I went and I played. I played 3 rounds. By the way, I'll give you my records. I went one win, 2 losses in both tourneys. I could have won much. I could have done much better in the second one, but there was this other player who was doing something that really got me on tilt, and I just wasn't able to, keep focused and not be on tilt, and it was a little frustrating. But it was a lot frustrating actually. But I went 1-3 and 1-2 in both. So I was on the loser side, right? That's okay because I'm just returning to the game. Also, I wanted the value of the cards. So one of the things I was really excited about was I get in there and I play on Friday night. We finish out the entire tournament. I have all my packs. I have it's called a pity pack. If you win 0, right, you get 1 pack at the end. So they gave me my pity pack. Also, I was incredibly fortunate. There were door prizes. The door prizes was a Magic the Gathering Dungeons and Dragons special notebook. It was amazing, right? It was a notebook with gridded paper and then also card sleeves. And it's amazing because this is the best. Like, it's saying, oh, you're playing Dungeons and Dragons? We'll draw your map here and then put your Mimic card here and put your 50 feet rope here and put your your plate armor card here in these card holders that are right in your notebook. So the notebook had clear card holders. It was beautiful, right? And I really wanted one, but I didn't get one, right? So I finished the tournament out on the last tournament, and I'm playing playing with a guy. He told me he works 90 hours a week in Philadelphia for a large global bank, right? Single guy, not married, got all the money in the world. He can spend whatever he wants on Magic, right? So, and I was like, and he's like, hey, I'm a competitive player, we're just talking, and I said, oh, hey, listen, you got some cards there in the Dungeons and Dragons set that I'd like to trade for. And he goes, well, I'm not going to kick myself in the butt. I'd give you things for nothing, but let's see what you got. So I whip out my old cards, and I traded him 3 cards from older sets, and I'm very fortunate. I've been playing since I was 1993. I pull out my trade binder and like old, and new players just slaver because they haven't, some of these cards are from 1993, right? Like, from 1993, I only have commons left, but because I've sold them for, the more rare stuff. But I have an incredible collection because I've been playing since the beginning, right? And so I can always get people to trade. So I traded him $16 of old cards for every single thing he got in the tournament, all his rares, all his bulk, and the Magic Gathering D&D notebook as well. So I walked home with double the amount of cards that my double the amount of Adventures in Forgotten Realms cards that my purchase should have allowed. I was incredibly excited. I really enjoyed the tournament. I was really, really just thrilled with how everything went with the tournament overall. The only thing that just made me a little sad, and I think you guys need to be aware of this, is just realize Magic the Magic the Gathering and D&D players are looking at each other side-eye, right? They just don't trust the other side. Magic is saying, hey, we don't want any more. The D&D players are saying, we don't want any more of your crap settings over it coming this way. And Magic Gathering and the Magic the Gathering players is like, well, we would have been happy about your Dungeons and Dragons setting if they had put cards that break the world in there, but they didn't, so we don't care, and you can go jump in a lake, right? And the Magic the Gathering players just really don't care about our stuff, right? So all this is going on, and that's where we've arrived. And I hope it gets better. I'd love to hear your experience on all of this. Did you play in any of the pre-releases? Why did you not, if you didn't? Also, are you going to change your game based on this new meld? I have a lot of changes coming up, and I am going to change my Dungeons & Dragons game based on the fact that Magic the Gathering exists. All that's my opinion. I'd love to hear your opinion. Let me know in the comments below. Please consider liking and subscribing, and have a wonderful millennium.